So as we start, and while we're waiting just one more minute for a few more people to jump on, I'd love to hear a little bit about you. What's brought you here tonight? Maybe where you're from and what you're hoping to learn, something like that. Pop it in the chat box. Where are we from tonight, guys? As I mentioned, I'm the branch manager of Central Connection Branch, and I'm joined by some amazingly talented team leaders and consultants tonight. This is the first time we have done a virtual magazine cooking class. So welcome to everybody. Thanks for taking time out tonight. We come to you from the regional areas of South Australia. So I'd love to hear where you guys are from. Now, tonight we've got some consultants who might not have presented ever before. So it's a great opportunity for them to be part of this virtual cooking class. And we've also got some seasoned long-term team leaders and consultants with us as well. So that's one of the things I love about being in our branch and being a consultant is the opportunity to learn new things. So we'll have a round of applause to all of our presenters tonight. We are going to make a start because we've got about 6 or 7 dishes to show you from the magazine. Pop it in the chat if you've got yourself a copy of the magazine already. And if you haven't, we'll be able to let you know during tonight where to get them from. Awesome. I can see we've got people coming from all around the place. We've got Mount Barker, Inman Valley, North Adelaide, Strathalbyn and Brighton in the caravan. Sue might be travelling. Awesome. And Minleton, welcome everyone. What I'll do is I think we've got everyone in the class now and some people might join soon. But what I'll do is I'm going to hand over to our amazing presenters and they're going to share with you some of the dishes from the latest Alfresco magazine. So first of all, we're going to head over to you, Tiff, aren't we?
Yes. Hi everyone, I'm in just outside Victor Harbour down in the Fleurieu Peninsula, and tonight I will be cooking one dish, but I'll also show you a dish we cooked earlier today at our cooking club. So the first dish I chose out of the magazine when I first had a look at the amazing summer magazine was I was pretty impressed by the linguine marinara, and it's a 30-minute dish, so I thought that's a really nice nighttime dinner, really quick. So that's on page 30 and it takes 30 minutes, so there you go, you might remember that page number. And the other dish, which I'm sure all of you are excited about, is actually the cover, and that the recipe for that is on page number 47 in your book. And we made that, I made that yesterday and finished it off today at Cooking Club. And it is spectacular. Everybody was very impressed with it at Cooking Club today. And I've sliced off a nice big piece. We had a tiny bit more than this left, but I just tidied it up. So yesterday I made the sponge, the ice cream and the curd. And you mix a bit of curd into the ice cream when you whip it, put it on the cake. Then you can freeze that. I froze it today, and then in Cooking Club I made my first meringue I've ever made, and I said to everyone, this just shows you if you've never done it before, just give it a go, because I hadn't tried before. And the biggest tip one of the other consultants there had was the adding the sugar in the meringue. Add it nice and slowly, don't just dump it in, because that's what will kill your meringue. So, and then we got our blowtorch on. If you haven't tried it, make this one. The hardest part was the meringue, and that was still very easy and very impressive to watch. It doubled in size as I was adding the sugar through the measuring cup hole, and it kept mixing. I sprinkled the sugar through, and I thought I better stop it because it looked like it was just going to keep growing out of the Thermomix. So there's our ice cream cake. I'll show you my screen here. I've been doing something a little bit cheeky when I go to Cooking Club or events out and about or virtuals like today, and I've changed my name. So instead of Hello Tifini, it says Hello Virtual Cooking Class for us tonight on our Cookie Do screen. So if you don't know how to get to that screen, you've got your home screen and you swipe right, and then you can look through all your recipes and have a browse. But to get started on the marinara, I'll read it from the magazine. It was quite different today, Cooking Club, because we weren't cooking it from a guided recipe, and it's nice for customers to see that as well, that we don't always cook from a guided recipe. So I'm going to get started because mine has a bit of cooking to do, but put in the chat box if you love a good marinara. It asks for half an onion. I've done a whole very small onion cut in half. 3 garlic cloves, 3 anchovies, just looking around for my chilies. There they are. I've got some dried chilies, so I got given some chilies when they're in season, and we used our dehydrator to dehydrate those. And then I'll pull my scales up like I did before. So you swipe to that side to get to all your modes on the TM6. And scales is one of my most used. Put your most used mode in the chat box. And we have 30 grams of oil. We've got the 1 gram increments. I went well over there, 36. Should be okay. It's not a high heat recipe, doesn't have to be specific. And then we have 5 seconds on speed 7 just to chop those ingredients. And you don't have to turn the 5 seconds on, you could just watch the 5 seconds, but with all the distractions, I like to put a nice quick chop like that. You want to turn to the speed really quickly. And I didn't have the buffer to stop me because it's not a guided recipe. So I had to just adjust myself, but we'll show you what the chili and onions look like now. And then we want to cook that. I'm going to scrape it down a little higher. And then we have 5 minutes. We should have somebody reading me out. That's what we did at Cooking Club today. We had someone else sitting there with the magazine reading out the instructions because we're so used to our guided cooking, but I also wrote it down quite big so that I'd be able to see it today. So we've got 120. Reverse. And speed 1. Do you want me to do some more talking, Jeff, or do you want to go to someone else for 5 minutes?
We were planning to hear about the cake at this point, but yeah, if you want to keep going just a couple more minutes, that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have people put in the chat box if they've tried this yet, if they've made it yet, or if they've tried a meringue before or a sponge? So the lemon curd in this one compared to like the Edna's tea cake is slightly more tart, but I believe that's to balance out the cake because we've got a lot of sugar in the meringue and a lot of sugar in the ice cream. So this layer of curd here sort of balances it out. And that curd layer, you just freeze for a short amount of time. But this whole cake I've had in this afternoon in the freezer, and it's holding its shape quite well, even the meringue. And I believe you can keep it in the freezer, the entire cake. So it is a dish that you could make ahead, especially for like Christmas Day. You wouldn't have to necessarily do the meringue Christmas morning. It didn't take long. I think it's about 15 minutes, the meringue, because you have to keep adding time on and stirring again. But yeah, it was about 15 minutes to do the meringue. So if you did everything else and then just did the 15 minutes on Christmas morning and then blowtorched it, we had a little handheld kitchen torch. It does smell really nice, so that would add to the atmosphere in your house as you're blowtorching the sugar in the meringue. Would be lovely.
And you said you just started that yesterday evening. Is that correct?
That's correct. I made the curd first, and then it didn't take very long, like just the cooking time of the curd and the ice cream. And then I froze the ice cream quite late overnight. This morning I woke up, chopped it, popped it back in, popped 150 grams of the curd in with the vanilla ice cream to make it a lemon ice cream as per the recipe, and then lay it on top of my sponge, and the sponge sits in that freezer overnight as well. So you cook the sponge the same time as you make the ice cream and the curd, and then you freeze it separately. So yeah, it took really quickly. So you can do quite a lot of it ahead of time, like I was saying.
Yeah, and I have heard it is very successful freezing it, because it does make a large amount, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was the 23 centimeter spring form cake. So here's mine. So it was about that deep before I added the meringue, and then the meringue made it that big.
Huge.
And I did have half, I reckon half of the bowl left with meringue still in it. So I've actually popped some nests in the oven to use that up, to have as like either a little pavlova nest or a decoration on top of something as well, which should be cute.
Awesome. Awesome. And I've heard some people separating it into smaller rose gold tins, our mini tins, and yeah, having different portion control that way.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. And that would be a really good idea to save them for events and just have 4 of the mini cakes, or even some cupcake versions too would be really cute. For a dinner party, to have the little cupcakes of
Mini
the
ones.
Yeah. And
Love
yeah, you
it.
freeze them and then bring them out the day of. You can see here, it's been sitting here a little while. The ice cream's starting to run, but everything else
Yeah.
is looking pretty good.
Amazing. Now we've got some comments in the chat. We've got Kelly wants to try the gluten-free version. Now that would be a simple swap for that sponge, wouldn't it?
Just the flour and the sponge, that's right. Because like I said, we had a girl at cooking club today that had was gluten-free, and we just chopped her from the bottom above, so that she didn't get any of the sponge, because nothing else has any flour in it, has any gluten in it.
Yeah,
That
awesome.
would be really easy done. I'm interested in trying the dairy-free one, and like maybe a coconut-based cream, or I think there's a few different
Yeah.
to try, because my son and I are predominantly dairy-free when we can, and we have 3 seconds, and then it's going to bing at me. Oh, it's sizzling up a storm, and it smells amazing. Have the whole house running down to get dinner when they smell those onions and chili cooking. We're at the Mount Gambier show. We had people running to us when we were cooking onions. So I just need to add the wine. So I've substituted tonight because I didn't have any white wine, and I have put in a little bit of apple cider vinegar and a little bit of water to measure up the 70 grams. So if you're adding apple cider vinegar instead of wine, you don't want to add the full 70 grams of apple cider vinegar. It'll taste awful, very vinegary. But I just didn't want that liquid to be left out, because it cooks for a further 2 minutes now. Do you want me to skip that cook, Jess, and jump to the next section? Because we're not cooking the wine off.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
So now we need to add the 400 grams of tin tomatoes. I said to my husband, he's got to stop buying the 800-gram tins, because so many recipes are 400 grams. And it's starting to frustrate me, but I just make sure I cook something else quite quickly after that uses up the rest. I could have just added the whole 800 grams, because we also have to add fresh tomatoes for this dish. When do they ask for the fresh tomatoes?
Won't it be wonderful when these magazine recipes are in Cookie Do in, I don't know, maybe 6 months' time or something, they'll all come to Cookie Do. We'll have guided cooking. I'd love
And it'll be amazing. I've got the tomato paste here as well. That's homemade from our tomatoes from last year. And I can see some coming up. Pop in the chat if you have a veggie patch. If you like growing your own vegetables. Tomato paste. Salt, pepper, sugar, oregano, and basil. It asks for fresh basil. I'm just using dried basil, but I've got all of those in my cup here. So that's all the salt, pepper, sugar. So it's just a half a teaspoon of each, which is quite easy when you're measuring it out. It's all the same. And then we're going to cook for 10 minutes on 100 speed 1. And then after that 10-minute cook is when we put the 500 grams of marinara mix into the steaming basket and then into the bowl to cook with it.
Excellent. That's a really quick and easy summary recipe to make. We're going to see another quick and easy recipe over with Heidi. She's ready to have us in her kitchen. I'm going to go over to you now, Heidi. Are you ready? Ooh.
Hello, Jess. Thank you for having me. My name's Heidi. I'm in the Adelaide Hills, or the lower Adelaide Hills near Blackwood, and I've been mixing for a while now, and I just can't seem to stop. I just love the whole food and creativity that has been inspired just through being a consultant. But anyway, we haven't got much time. I won't wrap it on. I'm cooking 2 dishes. Page 88. The double page I conveniently chose from the 2 pages. I've got a favourite brown rice salad. I don't know if anyone's made a brown rice salad before. They're completely flexible and you can really put whatever you've got in the fridge, whatever you've got in your pantry, you can put into these salads. And it's a fantastic salad to make ahead of time. You can make it for a barbecue, keep it in your thermoserver. I don't know how many of you have got a thermoserver. Perfect for keeping things cool or warm 2 to 3 hours. 2.6 litres, and I believe that's one of our TM6 gift with purchases at the moment. Anyway, the brown rice, there's a few different ways of cooking brown rice. For this recipe, we will be steaming it in the simmering basket. So you can put really as much, well, up to about 300 grams into there. I think the recipe calls for 400 grams of a short brown rice. Give it a good rinse under the water before you go to cook it. There's about 1 litre of water that goes in there and you cook it for 40 minutes. I have pre-cooked the batch already because I will not be having time. And just because I was steaming anyway, I decided to get my aroma happening. I've steamed some lovely silver beets in the garden on top. And I've seen 4 little baby bantam eggs in the bottom part of the baroma. And then the rice down below. So that's actually ready to go for later. Brown rice salad. I've made a few different variations of them. This one needs soy sauce, some freshly squeezed lemon juice, virgin olive oil, spring onions or green onions, some flat leaf parsley, red capsicum, roasted unsalted cashews, 150 grams of currants, and I wouldn't skip the currants. It's really nice to have that little bit of sweetness in there, and salt and pepper to taste. I've got some really nice garlic chives which grow in my garden, so I might put some of those in once we're a bit more cooked. I won't put it in when it's warm, so that will be just a bit of green crispy at the end. I've got my beautiful organic red capsicum that will go in at the end, and I think it's almost my time up, isn't it? I'm also making a roasted fennel dip. I better mention that. I won't be showing the ingredients just yet. I've got a beautiful fennel here that I picked up at the Harndorf markets today. So I'll be chopping that up, roasting it up on one of the upload trays, and together with 1/4 of a little red onion. And eventually we'll blitz it up with some cream cheese and yogurt and a few other herbs and spices. And if you wanted to, if you've got a spare bit of pumpkin hanging around, you might be able to roast that up too and put it into your brown rice salad for later on as well. So I think I've covered everything I need to say for now, Jess, unless you can think of a question, or is there a question in the chat box?
I don't think there's a question yet, but just in case anyone missed it, can you tell us how long does it take to cook brown rice usually, Heidi, compared to white rice?
So 40 minutes. This recipe says 40 minutes. I often getting it away if it's a brown basmati, 35 minutes. White rice is 18 to 20 minutes. And you do need to have your speed on 4, 3.5 even is a bit slow. So you need speed 4. There was one recipe I made once a while back and it asked for a slower speed and the rice wasn't cooked on top. So just keep it 4. I know it's a little bit louder in the kitchen, but it's worth it just to get all the rice cooked through.
Perfect.
More movement of water.
I love that tip. Excellent. I love how you're steaming above. So speed 4, aroma temperature, and the different times depending on the different type of rice, and it's going to be perfect in your Thermomix. Love it.
Absolutely. So
Awesome. Thank you. You're going to roast your fennel, and we'll see the dip later on.
Yes.
You're making with the
small
fennel.
2 centimetre pieces, I think.
Wonderful. Thank you, Heidi. And we're going to jump over to Sue to see you, Sue. And we'll see Heidi's dip a little bit later on. Awesome. And I think it might be a bit a birthday girl today, Sue.
Oh, yes. Well, that's a little bit of a tricky one. A long, long time ago, I set up Facebook and I was a little bit concerned about...
It's not real birthday. That's all right. That's all right.
No. So
all right.
It was actually my birthday 10 days ago.
Oh, happy birthday for 10 days ago.
Thank you. So, yeah, that was a bit of a funny one. So my name's Sue James. I live in Balhanna in the Adelaide Hills. I love my Thermomix. And tonight I'm going to be doing the chicken and avocado risotto salad. And that's on page 37 of this amazing magazine. We're so lucky to have these wonderful recipes come out. And as Jess mentioned before, after a short period of time, they'll come into cookie-doo, which makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to be showing the dressing for the risotto salad. And what I was going to show later on at the end of the session, I will be showing the completed dish. But what I've done ahead of time is I've popped my chicken and paprika into one of the vacuum seal containers. And the amazing thing about this is that it just makes your food last so much better. And it's one of the items that I was actually lucky enough to win, to earn, I guess, as a consultant. So I won't blabber on anymore. So the dressing, 4 garlic cloves, and let me just check the lemon zest, some chili flakes, and some honey. And the beauty of these recipes and anything that's in Thermomix is that it's, even though it's guided cooking, I sometimes choose, depending on the recipe, to actually cut down the sugar a little bit, just for our particular preference. Salt and pepper, yes. And mixing bowl. Speed 3, 3 seconds, or speed 3. 3, speed 7. And it is quite funny getting used to not having the beauty of the things just coming up on the screen, but that's okay.
It is a little different, isn't it? Manual cooking. I'd love to hear.
Yes.
I'd love to hear in the chat box if we do have anyone here with a TM6 already, and what you think about manual cooking. And if you've got a TM31 or a TM5 without the guided cooking, let us know as well. This magazine, as Sarah, our chat box queen, Sarah Rowe, has popped in the chat box. The magazine's available from supermarkets and newsagents, as well as from your consultant if they have a copy, and also our mix shop you can purchase online, and you might use your new loyalty rewards voucher to purchase one. But back to you, Sue. Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no problems at all. And I also do have a couple of the spare magazines in my little Thermomix treasure trove that I also recently earned. 100 grams of lime juice going in and 150 grams of extra virgin olive oil. And I mean, it's interesting. I was used to doing the manual cooking with my previous TM31, but you quickly, adapt to the guided cooking. And so this is going to go on 10 seconds on to speed 4.
It's so true. So you've had the 31. Many of us here started with the 31 as well. And we love the manual cooking, and but we soon really love the guided cooking too, just for a little less, a little more sanity and a little less stress in the kitchen. Hey.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And so, let me just have a little look here. Sorry, in front of the camera. And I guess I just love, as I mentioned before, being able to really focus on healthy meals for my husband and myself, and now our 3 little grandchildren. And so that's it from me until I come back at the end. I'm going to take there's my dressing, which can't really see very well.
No,
but I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of that dressing and pop it onto my prepared chicken, and then the chicken is going to actually steam in the varoma at the top while I go ahead and cook the risotto with some yummy vegetables. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you back a bit later. Bye.
Beautiful. We'll see you when that chicken's done. We'll come back and see you. Thank you, Sue. That salad sounds and looks absolutely delicious in the magazine. And you've made it before, so I'd love to.
I did. I
try
had to do a quick little taste test. It was delicious.
Good on you. And hopefully we've got lots of people that will try that recipe as well. Thank you, Sue. We're going to zoom over to a caravan. I think our caravan consultant is in Tasmania. Where'd you go?
Hello, my name is Mel Hornby and I'm from Mixing and Stitching. Yes, we are in a caravan, and originally we are from Bunbury in WA. But we've been travelling around since about February. Hey Sue, how you going? We've been travelling around for a while now, since about February this year, and we don't have any plans to stop just yet. So, even in a small space, having a Thermomix is, so practical for us. I have a couple of small kids. I've got a husband who's studying and it's FIFO. So, more extra hands, the better for me. Anyway, I'm going to be making the mango sago pudding, which is on page 18 of the magazine. Now, mangoes aren't that flush down here in Tasmania at the moment, and they are super expensive and they're really not that great. So I've chosen to actually substitute it with a tin peaches. So I'm just going to hop into the recipe itself and show you what we're doing. The recipe does call for us to soak our sago. So I previously made sago many, many times, and I've always baked it in the oven. So this is a bit of a new one for me. What we do is we actually put our milk with the sago, and sago is like the tapioca bead from the tapioca plant. I don't know how they make it, to be honest, but this is what turns into like our arrowroot and our tapioca flour. So it's gluten-free, which is really good for those who have those sort of things going on with their diet. So we're soaking that for about 10 minutes. I've put it in my thermostat. It's a great option to use as a second bowl, particularly in a caravan. You know, everything has to have two uses. I actually travel with two thermostats, one that I earned as a consultant and one that I can't remember how I got the other one. As when I hosted my very first demo many years ago. So you can actually get one that way as well. So we've done our soaking of our sago, and we're going to place our mango into the bowl, and we're just going to make a quick puree with this. So I've already pre-weighed it. There we go. And we're just going to blitz that for 10 seconds, speed 8. Now, I was one of the consultants.
We just lost audio, Mel. Oh,
Sorry.
it's blending
I
up
think it's
high.
because of the machine. Yeah,
Missed
speed
that.
8 it was. I couldn't hear myself, let alone whether I could have sound or not. But yeah, we've got so much beautiful power in our machine there. So I'm just scraping out the, I'm going to say mango, but no, it's peaches. Yeah, so I'm one of the consultants who actually started with a TM31 many years ago, but I only became a consultant a couple of years ago. So, you know, I've owned a machine for a very long time, but yeah, I decided to become a consultant and have earned a couple of machines, have earned lots and lots of things, which has been really wonderful. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're just transferring that across to a bowl, and we're going to use this with the sago in a little while. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to make our custard, or we're going to cook our sago, and it kind of cooks like a custard. Okay, so from this point, we're going to insert a butterfly whisk. And in the bowl here, we've got coconut milk and normal milk. Okay, so I guess you could change that to almond milk if you wanted, or you could do all of coconut milk. It did call for caster sugar, 50 grams of caster sugar. I've actually elected to substitute it with honey in this particular case because, you know, my kids eat a lot of these sort of things, and I prefer them to have honey than sugar. But obviously, you could cut the sweetness all out, or you could use sugar. So as you can see, they're like little beads there, little styrofoam beads basically. And what else do we need in here? Then cook 15 minutes at 90 degrees. And I love guided cooking. I'd never be without my cookie dough. And as a consultant, you can earn your annual subscription of cookie dough, or at the moment you can get it as a host reward, I believe. Is that correct still, Jess?
I think so. Definitely. Yep.
So,
Great way to
yeah, so this is actually going to cook for about 15 minutes. I do see there's a question there. Hey, Mel, substituted sugar. Sorry, what was that, Catherine?
Have you substituted sugar for coconut sugar?
With coconut sugar.
No. I just normally use honey, but absolutely, you definitely could. It's just one less thing that I have to carry in the caravan, to be honest.
True.
But yeah, you could absolutely do that for sure. I use honey in majority of my cooking, from drinking tea to making cakes. So yeah, that's my preference. But yeah, you absolutely could use it, coconut sugar. So this is going to cook for 15 minutes, and then by the time you get back, I'm going to be put in my egg yolks and a little bit of the puree, and then I'm pretty much done.
Awesome.
So did you want to see that bit, Jess, by the time you come back?
We'll see you sort of plating it up. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Right, sounds good. No worries.
Excellent. Thanks so much for showing us that, and I hope your family enjoys that one.
No doubt. They've already got a whole stack in there already, and I've got some to show you that's already been made up. So stick with us.
Perfect. Perfect.
Here's one we prepared earlier.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Well, you can decide if you want to show us any of those last bits, and then show us the prepared earlier one if you want, Mel.
Yeah, no worries. We'll just click over when you're ready.
How we go. And flying from Tasmania back to the mainland to you, Jacquie.
Well, hello. So I'm a bit of a time as well as a health person. So I'm going to be cooking on the run here. But like everybody else, I just love the guided cooking. So I'm Jacquie Young. I am building the beach, and I'm going to do the I Love You fruit and seed bars. Now they're billed as a breakfast thing, but having said that, as we talk through it, you'll find out that you can use these not at breakfast, pack ups, cook lunches, tell them not from around here, or also as little gifts. You want to like dip them in a bit of chocolate at the end. Anyway, so there was just some sunflower seeds that went in there, 50 grams of sunflower seeds, and we're going to put 5 dates, and I'm going to pop these just quickly, and then I will start to talk. Well, this will take a minute and a half, and I can talk it. So here we go. We're at a minute and a half here. It's upside down. Sorry about this. That's better. On 6.
Another thing we learn as consultants is operating the Thermomix from behind or from upside down sometimes when we're in classes. Now we've
Another little trick is that Zoom cuts out the sound, so we can't hear you, Jacquie.
Unfortunately, we can't hear Jacquie at the moment, but once her thing has stopped whizzing. Sarah, have you got the magazine in front of you? I thought it was only a few seconds, but she said a minute and a half.
Yeah, 1 minute, 30 seconds, speed 6.
I missed that one. Thought it was like 5 seconds. No worries. I'm sure that'll be finished soon and we'll get to see the finished product there. Must be ready very soon. Must unmute. Jacquie, you're muted. I'm sorry.
So we're just taking a paste now. I don't know if you heard that thing from the dates and sunflower seeds. I'll tell you that in a minute. I was quite fascinated with this recipe because I was thinking, well, where is the thing that holds them all together? So here we go.
That's your paste there. Dates and whatever. And then we're going to throw in the apricots there. Another 40 grams of apricots. That's just going to chop up for 1 second on speed 6. Whoops. Right the way around. 1 second. There we go. And now I'm going to add some banana. Because what would breakfast bars be without banana? There's 100 grams of banana in there. Really, if you're looking for them to be a bit moist, then the more ripe, the better. Then we're going to put some coconut in. There's 10 grams of desiccated coconut there. Some oats there. 80 grams of rolled oats. Pepatas. Whoop. And cinnamon, just to sort the whole thing out. Really very healthy, Jess. Yes, very nice. Like The only sugars in the, oh my goodness, no, we're not going to have that much. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put that on 5 seconds to feed 4. And that, as they would say, is that. So just think of all those times when you've thought, oh my goodness, what's going to go into their lunch tomorrow? What am I going to give for breakfast? There you are. All I have to do now is I will just press it into there. Fantastic bars. Absolutely. I'm just going to move the Thermomix out the way. Lucky it's on a glider board. Lucky or good planning, one of the two. Oops. There you are. Really can't beat those glider boards. Fantastic. Right, so what we're going to do now is, as you can see, this is one of the older bar molds. I think they do them in 6 bars. This one's an 8 one. So all you have to do now is just make sure that you press it down nicely. Now, if you wanted to make I love you bars, and instead of pressing them into a nice rectangle like that, you could press them into a little heart or something like that. And they come out the oven and they're cool. Just dip them in a little bit of chocolate, put them in a cellophane bag, and they're nice little gifts and things to people that perhaps you don't want to spend a fortune on, but you'd like to say, hey, Merry Christmas. The only thing that I would do is, if you're choosing a mold, just make sure that you're not going to use one with like little intricate bits, because there's big things in there like papatas and whatever, and they won't hold together really, really well. So yeah, they will store. They'll store fantastically in the vacuum seals. They're really, really good. Been fortunate enough to earn a few of those in my consultancy. In fact, I've been very fortunate with a lot of things like that. There we go. So then I'm just going to, I'll continue on doing that. And I'm going to pop them in the oven for about 15 minutes on 190. And that is as easy as that. And just think about how much some of these breakfast bars cost you in the supermarket against how much this is costing today. Just can't beat it. Well, thanks very much, Jess.
So true. And that was a great little plug there, Jackie, for saving money. And we save so much money with our Thermomixes. Thanks for mentioning that too. And they look so healthy. And we'll come back and see them if they're ready. But first of all, we want to jump over to past the Barossa and go visit Amy.
Hello. So I'm going to be making muffin pan chorizo frittatas. So one of the main reasons that and this is on page 87 of the magazine. So one of the main reasons that I actually chose this was we are deep in harvest, and this is a brilliant meal for putting out on the tractor. But yeah, can be used for other things, which I'll talk about afterwards. But I'm just going to get into it. So this recipe does use chorizo. I am going to, it also talks about slicing onions, which you could do in the slicer, like in the, cutter, slicer. I'm losing my words.
That's it.
But I'm actually going to put it all in with my chorizo. I did it earlier and I found that I could do it that way. So I'm going to put that in and chop. So when you think prepared, you're not. So I'm going to chop it for 3 seconds on speed 7. Chop it up quite fine. So it's just in 1 centimeter pieces. I found this funky little spatula on the mix shop, which I actually really quite like. It's really thin, easy to get in and under the blades. My other one is different, but this one is plain, so we will use that. We're also going to now add some broccoli, which I have cut up. I did chop it earlier in the Thermomix, but it did chop up really finely. And some capsicum. I may have forgotten to get capsicum today, so that's, and the onion's already in there. And I'm just going to cook that now. A little bit of oil. So 5 minutes on 120 on speed. So this recipe, and hopefully you can hear me, also comes with a tomato relish, which I've already pre-made. This took me 10 minutes to make, and it is really basic ingredients: cherry tomatoes, onion, garlic, sugar, and balsamic vinegar. So that is it, and it, like I've never made relish in my Thermomix before, and I don't know if I will not, like, whether I'll buy it ever again. It was just so easy.
It's delicious relish too. We had it today at Cooking Club, Amy, and it's the relish on that frittata. Like, you could have the relish on anything. It's delicious relish. Well worth making that recipe just to learn the relish, but the frittata as well with that chorizo's beautiful flavour.
What was I going to? Oh, the other thing you could do, these, when I was thinking about them today, is these would be brilliant for Boxing Day. So using up that leftover carved ham, like that would be an epic choice, like, and a great substitute for when you've got a lot of leftovers, and or you know, taking to picnics or going when you've got to take something just a little bit nicer. This is a really good option and not that hard to do. So yeah, that's all I really have to discuss. I did pre-make one, and I'm happy to, if you would like, Jess, I can show my pre-made one.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. We can come back to you if you don't have it out already.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I didn't use a patty pan like a paper. I just used it straight into my muffin tin because that's how I like it.
Awesome.
Yeah, pop a little bit in that. Yeah, and it does look a bit mushy because I did mush up my veg, but yeah, that's my.
Looks yummy and handy. You cooked it straight in your muffin tin, or you could cook it in any of those brownie tins. Yeah.
This batch will go into a brownie tin. I think I prefer probably to have it in a slab, but the muffin, I make muffin, like my quiches in muffin tins all the time, and that's how I prefer them. So, but yeah.
Awesome. And how many that size, how many did you make?
18.
Yeah, far out. That's awesome.
It says 12. So I think if they were a bigger muffin tin, I mean, that's a 1 cup, and that is that's the biggest that I got, but yeah. I mean, that makes heaps, and it is a dozen eggs. That is probably the only thing, but I have chickens that are laying heaps of eggs, and if you have access to eggs, well, then it is
good.
Yeah.
Perfect way to use up those eggs this time of the year. Thank you so much for sharing. Awesome. And we're jumping over back to the caravan to see the second part of the sago pudding.
Yes. So we've cooked it for our 15 minutes. And as you can see, it's kind of come up just like a creamed rice almost. So if you ever had creamed rice in a tin, remember that cream rice that Tom Piper, I think it was? That's what it looks like. Parsons, is it? No, we had Tom Piper. My husband's parents are English, so he comes up with those sort of ones. Alrighty, so what we're going to add in here now is we're going to add in 200 grams of the puree, and then we're going to then put our egg yolks in, and 3 minutes, and it's all done. So whilst that's cooking, there we go. I will show you what I've already plated up. My 2 egg yolks that I've separated, beautiful orange egg yolks. So this will be a great breakfast or a mid-morning snack, something that you can keep in your lunchbox. Yep. Oh, yes. My husband's showing Parsons as a rice cream. Well, I'm sure we had the little boy on the picture. Okay, so this one we're going to be doing 90 minutes as 90 degrees, speed 3.
It is very similar to the creamed rice recipe indeed. I make that one. I have made that one many times over the years.
You know what? It's one of those things that I haven't actually made. I think because as a kid I grew up eating creamed rice out of a tin, I'm a little bit scared to eat it and be like, oh, this isn't what I was expecting it to be like. Although my nanny used to make rice pudding, so that's a little bit different again.
Yeah.
So which is, yeah, it's completely different from a rice pudding to creamed rice in a tin. Okay, so I've made this earlier today. It doesn't take very long for it to set. It does set really quite firm. Now, I just put some whipped cream in here because I had some cream kicking around. You could use the coconut cream that it does suggest you to do. And then I've layered another little bit of the puree on top. And so I'll just dig down and just show you that firmness. That's really good. It's very similar to a cream rice recipe. And I'll show you another one that I've done. So you can see it's kind of got a little bit of a jiggle to it, which it's sort of like a cold custard. So that's the texture that you're sort of going for. But yeah, I love sago at the best of times, but this is a really different recipe, really refreshing. Great on a hot afternoon as a great afternoon tea. Costs bugger all to make. Sago is super cheap. You can use tapioca pearls, which is the next size up. You may have to cook it for a little bit longer. You just have to play with that. Sometimes you can buy the tapioca, but you can't buy the sago, so you just have to have a look. But yeah, look, it's a fantastic recipe. And yes, also good for tractors. Absolutely, Amy. Look, anything that's portable can be put in a little snack cup. I don't happen to have them with me because glass is heavy, but you can get the jars, the yogurt jars from the mix shop, and they would be beautiful to have your sago in the bottom and then your puree at the top, or whichever way you want to do it. So yeah, great option to have, and yeah, give it a go. Let me know what you think.
Thanks so much, Mel. That looks delicious. And we could have made this our harvest class instead of our Alfresco magazine class. Lots of ideas for harvest. Now I'm going to go fly over to you, Heidi, and we're going to do the fennel dip. Hopefully your fennel has roasted. Have we got a thumbs up? Over we go. The fennel's been roasting during the class, ready for the dip.
All right, sorry, getting warm in my kitchen, all the oven on and everything. I'm starting to flake out. Now, I didn't say with the roasting of the fennel, you roast it together with the onion, also with a bit of olive oil, lemon juice, salt and pepper, fennel seeds, and yeah, a lemon zest. I was going to mention with the lemon zest. The best lemon zester I've ever known is this one, which comes in our little cooking toolkit. Are the toolkits available at the moment for host rewards at the moment, Jess? I don't know.
Sarah's looking that up for us.
Not as a host reward at the moment, especially with the festive host rewards. They are on special at the mix shop for $47.60 from $119.
Absolutely worth it. It's the best zester ever. It takes the finest thinnest layer of the lemon or the orange, whatever you're zesting. So if I don't use anything else with toolkit, and they're all great little bits, I'll show you quickly. There's a pair of wonderful scissors, an ice cream scoop. There's 2 knives. There's a buttering spreading knife. So perfect for picnics, perfect for taking camping. Anyway, so I had to mention the zest because I just love that one. Now, we have roasted up our fennel, and it's looking brown around the edges. We want it soft. So we're adding this into our mixing bowl. We're going to chop it briefly, 15 seconds, speed 7. All right. I've got to aim for the bowl. Here's the fun part. The dogs aren't in the kitchen, so they won't be able to clean up. You can add other herbs and spices in here too if you wanted to. You're not always locked into what the recipe says, depends on what is in your fridge. You can always adapt. All right, we'll give that a little chop. Now I've forgotten already because I'm a wee bit tired. 15 seconds, speed 7. 15 seconds, speed 7. On the sides. Smelling beautiful. So that mixture of lemon and fennel, tiny hint of onion. Very hard to see. It's sort of kind of chunky, but I think a little bit of texture and a dip is not a bad thing. So we're scraping down the sides quickly. We're adding 20 grams of natural yogurt. Suppose you could add sour cream, I guess, at a pinch. We're adding some cream cheese, 125 grams. I like to always have cream cheese in my fridge if I can help it, just for those spontaneous picnics or barbecues that you get invited to. And then we've got 15 seconds, speed 7 again.
So quick and really easy to whip up when surprise visitors come, Heidi. There's some lovely dip recipes in the magazine, but also in our cookbooks and, of course, Cookie Do. Can't wait to see if you enjoy this dip, Heidi, because you haven't made this one before, have you? It's a new one.
I've not made this one before, hence why I forgot to put the lemon and the fennel seed on at the start. You can have a little taste at this point and decide whether you'd like a bit more lemon juice, whether it needs more pepper and salt. Never just assume it's up to your taste. So, tiny bit warm. It's lovely. Aniseed's coming through, and I don't think I want more lemon in that. Some people might like it tangier. So I suppose you could blend it a little bit more if you wanted to. It's a little bit chunky, but yum.
Beautiful.
Yeah, pretty entertaining, that one.
Enjoy that one. We're going to zoom around and have a look at some of the finished dishes around other kitchens as well, because we're just coming on the 8:30, which we've done super well. There's your brown rice salad.
That's
Ooh,
brown rice salad. Dressing super simple. Lemon juice, olive oil, soy sauce.
yum.
Very, very simple.
Yep.
And roasted cashew nut.
Oh, perfect. That makes a stack. Thank you,
Right,
Heidi.
Thank you, Jess.
Awesome. Enjoy that salad and your beautiful dip. I wonder what it tastes like. We are going to jump
No,
over. I can see Tiff's ready. And then Sue, where are you up to? Were you going to show us another step, or you're just showing plating up?
I need a couple more minutes because
No
of
worries.
the
That's okay.
you know, in between. Otherwise, if we run out of time, I'll come back and show a
No.
photo at the end.
No worries. And we also have a Facebook group that we can all we can share our finished photos, our Central Connection Community Hub. We can go there and see some finished photos as well. We've also got other classes coming up, including a gift making class. And Jacquie, you started talking about gifts, and we've got a gift making class coming up. So we'll show you a bit more info about that once we've seen all these dishes that have finished. Thanks, Tiff.
Yes, I'm excited about that class. I've made the marinara. It smells amazing. I was waiting for you to come back to me so I could start eating.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. So above, so after that 10-minute cook that you saw me do, it asked me to put the marinara mix, which I just got at the deli counter, into the simmering basket inside the Thermomix. So that was in the basket cooking. And then above it, it asked you to cook 1 kilo of mussels. I didn't feel like eating 1 kilo of mussels to myself because I'm the only one in the family that likes mussels. So instead I put some greens in. So I put some asparagus and broccoli, and they are perfectly cooked. The exact amount of time that they needed, but it's made a lot of marinara. You had to make the linguine, you had to cook the linguine second separately. It said to cook it in a pot. I just cooked it before I started marinara and popped it in my thermo server, and it stayed hot and it was perfect. Once I added in the sauce, it has started absorbing up all the sauce. Who needs a pot when you have a Thermomix and a thermo server to keep it warm in between? Fantastic. And I'll definitely be having this again. I have had a taste of and
Excellent.
some of the greens, but yeah, it's pretty easy. Yeah, and a flavor-filled sauce. Like, this would be my choice at a restaurant. If I go to a restaurant and they have marinara, that's what I choose. And I used to choose risotto, especially mushroom risotto. So I'm wondering if this will ruin restaurants for me. Well, just like the risotto has. I stopped ordering risotto at restaurants now. I stopped ordering the marinara. So the ice cream cake that I showed earlier, I'm going to make that Christmas Day. And I have a few pescatarian, vegetarian in my family, and I might make this for them as well when I'm over in Perth visiting them. You can get this oval thermo server as one of your host rewards. So these are our new host rewards. We've got a few extra new ones with your grazing box and your there it is, and your vacuum, the mini vac. So for a limited time you can get those extra ones. So if you've got everything else and your cookie do everything, you can jump on and ask your consultant to have another demo with you, because you might want to earn the rose gold bakeware or the bamboo grazing box, as well as the mini vac and the cutter.
And if you're anything like me, and you need a vacuum.
Yeah, the vacuum's awesome. I've got the mini vac. I use it to vacuum out, your top drawer in your kitchen. Always get some crumbs that sprinkle down into it. It's good for vacuuming them out or tidying up if you're pouring chia seeds in and you miss and they go all around. Yeah, I'm encouraging people to get the cutter before the spiralizer comes out.
Yeah. Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiff, for sharing that. And great to see those host rewards as well. Some different ones have come up for us. Enjoy your food. And I hope, and we might have ruined marinara linguine for you. You might not be able to buy that at the restaurants anymore.
Especially when, other than the price of the seafood, all the other ingredients I had at home and were really simple.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good to hear. Awesome. Thank you, Tiff. Now Jacquie, did you have something else you wanted to show us?
Oh, am I off mute?
Yeah, you're off mute.
Wonderful. No, look, it's I'm just going to show you just carefully. Look, that's what they're like when they come out the oven. They really do need to cool in the molds. So I'm going to leave them in there. I think one of the things that that Tiff was saying is absolutely right. One of the things that I've learned from being a consultant is just have your pantry stocked with all your pantry items. I was so fortunate to earn a $200 Woolworths voucher last month. Pushed my trolley around, got all my pantry items and whatever, and I can easily say today that the only thing that we had to buy was a banana. So, and you know, those are our pack up things done for the rest of the week.
Beautiful. Thank you. And so did that mixture fit in there perfectly, or was there some more mixture that you put?
No. Like I say, this is one of the older ones because this is for 8 bars, but the recipe is designed for the newer 6-bar ones that you can get from the mix-it shop. And I would suspect that they will fit in just exactly the same.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing that. And
in the 6, just adding, and I've frozen them and they freeze really well too.
Oh, beautiful.
So they keep really well in the vacuum seals. We find out that they freeze, and in fact, that lemon ice cream cake I put into the freezer, having taken 2 or 3 slices out, even with the meringue on top. And 2 or 3 days later, it was absolutely fine. So maybe just don't even hold off till Christmas Day. Make it the night before and stick it all in the freezer.
Yeah. Imagine making long bar versions of it. We could make all different shapes. Awesome. Thank you very much, Jacquie. I wanted to say, before we go over to you, Sue, I wanted to say thank you to Sarah, our chat box queen for tonight. Very, very great info you've popped in the chat box. We will be sending you guys an email with all those recipes. No. Not yet. Those recipes aren't online.
No,
you can grab your magazine, don't you, Sarah?
You need to obviously get a copy of the magazine, which is not working. Hang on, I don't know. It won't work because I'm blurred. But yeah, you need to get your magazine. Speak to your consultant, selected newsagents, Cawrse and Woolworths. I just have a quick question though, on behalf of Tanya. Did Mel get her sago or tapioca? Tapioca from the Asian section or the baking section? Whereabouts did you get it from at the supermarket?
It's in the section where you get
I was going to
the
say
custard
Asian.
powder. Like, no, it's not in the Asian section. No, it's like where the custard
Dessert.
powder and the puddings and, you know, like the packet mixed puddings and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'd say dessert.
Yeah,
I'm on Woolies now, and it doesn't tell you where.
No, sometimes it can be hard to find. So either tapioca pearls or sago.
Yeah.
There's another name that they use it, but I can't think what it is. If I remember what it is, I'll pop it in the chat. But yeah, it's generally in like a plastic bag or in a box sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it's around. You do have to get them to look sometimes.
Cool, thank you. I think that's any other real question I had in there. I think I've got most of the other ones answered. It was just the tapioca cereal, maybe. I don't know. I think it's like where you get like the self-sourcing puddings.
Yes, that's right. And the self-sourcing, yeah. So where like your packet custard mix and your you know, like your microwave desserts,
yeah,
that sort of area, and like your icy poles and stuff. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, reach out to your consultant. If there's one near you, they should have some copies of the magazine. It is selling really well at the supermarkets, and I will let Jess take over.
I was going to give you a go at doing this. I thought you were going to take over this one. Thank you so much, Sarah. Great info. And wonderful having you, as well as all of our consultants on board tonight. Got a few little images for you guys to have a look at. I wanted to give a plug to Tifini, who's on tonight, who made the linguine marinara. She's actually putting on a Made with Love cooking class in Victor Harbour. So if any of you guys are near Victor Harbour on this Saturday, 2 till 4, we'll be making some of these gift items. And it's just a beautiful class. If you're near Mitchell Park in Adelaide on Thursday, or the Minlaton one, I think I have the date right. Kimberly Hamilton will be doing one in Minleton on the York Peninsula in early December. So we'd love to see you at some of our in-person classes. If not, we do have a another virtual, like I mentioned, gift making, and we haven't quite sorted out the menu yet, but that's okay. We're getting through this one first. We'd love to see you there, and that you can register for that one on this same link here that you may have used to register for tonight. So that one's December 4th for the gift making. Don't have an image ready for that one just yet. If you or someone you know would like to start TM6 journey with your consultant, this is the gift with purchase that you will receive with your awesome Thermomix and your awesome consultant. So we've been using the ThermoServer tonight a fair bit, and you've seen lots of things from the mix shop you could purchase. And also we've talked a little bit about the Thermomix cutter. So that one's free. It's amazing value with the TM6 right now. Different payment options. Of course, the best way to get a Thermomix on your bench is to become a consultant. You might have heard some of our consultants talking tonight about what they love about being a consultant. Here's some images that we shared at our branch meeting at the beginning of November, and these images are from different regions of our branch and some of the activities we've got up to. So we have lots of fun, lots of learning. Some people get their Thermomix in order to learn more about their Thermomix and just use it more. So there's lots of different reasons that people decide to give it a go as a consultant. If you want more details, you can stay on at the end of tonight's session and hear more, or come to an info session. But this is our business kit that you'll get. It's worth over $400, including your carry bag and a ThermoServer, your name badge and everything. You actually get your business started. So yeah, if it is something that you'd like to look into, these are some of the things that our consultants feel that they get from being a consultant, and we'd love to welcome you as well. Let your consultant know if you are a little bit curious to find out more. Otherwise, I'm happy to stay behind tonight's session. But thank you to our presenters, and thank you everyone for taking time from your night to spend time with us. We hope to see you at our December 4th class. That's the online gift making class. If you can't make it to one of those in-person ones, we'd love to see you online. And thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys. And thank you, Mel, Amy, Tiff, Sue, Jacquie and Heidi. Actually, I jumped in too soon. I was looking at Sue and then I got carried away thanking Sarah. Sue, are you ready? Is your chicken ready? So sorry. I was going to quickly thank Sarah.
No.
Jump to you.
No.
What happened?
All the bits are here, but it's just a little bit too hot to put together as a salad. So I am going to, get into the picture instead of doing it from the side. So I'm going to let it cool down and put it all together and send a picture.
Beautiful.
Because I think it would just all wilt a little bit too much. And note to myself, I should have probably cooked the salad part prior to tonight, but that's all right. It's a learning curve.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm glad that you're going to have a beautiful salad to enjoy with your grandkids and your husband and yourself.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for jumping on and sharing with us how easy that salad is. And tell us, you've eaten it before. What did you think of it? Did you like it?
It's so delicious. And I mean, here's the risoni, and I did cut down the risoni. The recipe says 250. I cut it down to 200, and we actually ended up, the last time, we actually used some of the risoni in the creamy chicken and sun-dried tomato pasta recipe. So we switched to normal pasta. So all good.
Yep. So you can choose to use all of it in that salad, or maybe use some of it
Yeah.
for something else. Makes a large
Yeah.
amount by the sounds.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sue. And
My pleasure.
yeah, thank you, everyone. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you at our next session sometime soon. Feel free to jump off. If you've got any more questions, please pop them in the chat box, or stay behind if you want to hear more about what I've mentioned about the business kits, business opportunities. Otherwise, thanks, Tiff. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Mel.
Thanks,
See you,
everyone.
Heidi. Had a
See
big
ya.
day. Tiff and Heidi have had huge cooking days.
I'm exhausted.
Not recording.
Good night. Oh, yeah, stop recording. Thanks, Tiff.